je m'appelle Marc et je suis là pour répondre à votre demande. Que puis-je faire pour vous?
Hi, I don't speak French. Can you speak English?
Great, I'll continue in English. Please share your preferred date and time for your dental appointment.
I'm looking at Friday, 29th of August at 1:30 p.m.
That time is unavailable. Here are two good alternatives. August 29th, 2025 at 12:30 in the afternoon or August 29th, 2025 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Which would you like to book? Also, please share your full name and a phone number so I can reserve the slot for you.
I prefer the second option. My full name is Stephanie and my phone number is...
Great. I am proceeding to reserve your slot now. Great news. Your appointment is booked. August 29th, 2025 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The name on the appointment is Stephanie, and the phone number on file is the one ending in 404. You will receive a text message confirmation shortly. Is there anything else you'd like to arrange or adjust?
No, that's all I had. Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy to help. If you think of anything else you'd like to adjust, just let me know. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you.
Today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to build a multilingual AI voice agent inside n8n and ElevenLabs. Like you saw from the demo earlier, this AI voice agent can answer calls in different languages.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Marc. Je suis là pour répondre à votre demande. Que puis-je faire pour vous?
Hi, I don't speak French. Can you speak English?
Hi there. Yes, I can assist in English. Please share your preferred date and time for your dental appointment.
From the demo, it was just French and English, but then it can do more. It can also collect a customer's name and their preferred appointment time, and then go ahead to check your calendar for availability and also go ahead and book the appointment all in real time. It can also then send a follow-up text message through Twilio to your customers so that they have all the details right on their phone. I find that for this demo, I just focused on dental offices, but I find that this type of AI agent is perfect for not just dental offices, but also clinics, spas, saloons, or really any service-based business that relies on bookings. And I find that it's also very useful for busy professionals who are running side hustles, or coaches or small business owners who just want a 24/7 receptionist that is bilingual without having to hire extra staff. By the end of this tutorial, you'll see exactly how you can do this in ElevenLabs and how you can actually connect ElevenLabs for natural voice interaction, Twilio for SMS confirmations, and also your calendar for bookings so that they happen automatically. It's a very simple setup, I promise, and you don't have to write a single line of code from this tutorial, and it's gonna deliver polished customer experience. It would save you hours of manual work. So if this is something you're interested in, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like, comment, all the good stuff. My name is Stephanie. Let's get started. I'll say that probably this particular tutorial would conclude my series on AI voice agent, because I do think I have covered all the different scenarios and all the different use cases I could think of. If there are any other use cases you'd want me to try, then let me know in the comment section below and I'll gladly do that as well. I've done several tutorials on AI voice agents. I'm going to link them somewhere in this video. So if you haven't seen my previous videos on other use cases that I've tried, then I would encourage you to go watch those ones as well, because I'll be making a lot of references from those videos as well. Okay, so in order to bring this to life, you need three main tools. So the first one is ElevenLabs, the second one is n8n, and the third one is Twilio. Okay, so those are the tools I'll say that you need. You'd also need to connect to your calendar and stuff like that. Those are standard for a lot of businesses. So let's start with a tutorial in ElevenLabs, and then we move on to Twilio and then n8n. So coming into ElevenLabs, I do have my agent which I created here already, but if you want to create your own agent, you come into ElevenLabs. ElevenLabs has, I'd say, two main platforms. So they have the conversational AI platform, and then they have the creative platforms. In the creative platform is where there's the text to speech, there's the voice changer and all that. So if you're doing any creative projects, then you'd want to be using the creative platform. We want to focus on the conversational AI platform. When you come in here, all you have to do is you click on agents and then you click on new agents. When you click on new agents, you can can really select what you want, whether you want a personal assistant or a business assistant. If you want a business assistant, you can come in here and really select which industry your business is in, okay? So if your business is in, let's say, healthcare, then you can just select healthcare and medicals. And then if it's a customer support scheduling, you can really select. So you can select appointment scheduling in this case, and then you just have to put in your agent's name, the website, and the main goal, and you're good to go. So that is really how you start with creating your own AI agent. Since I already have my own agent created already, I'm not going to create a new one. Instead, I'm going to show you exactly the type of things you need to put inside so that you can configure this to work for you the way you want it to. So yes, so since this is multilingual, I deliberately chose that the default language should be in French because I can't speak French. So I needed to put the default to be in French so that I can ask the agent from the demo to sort of like switch to English. That's the language I can speak. So you can really decide what the default language is depending on where you find yourself in. I believe there are multiple languages in here. So it will sort of cover a lot of like different use cases or different language scenarios as well. So I chose French as a default agent language. And then for additional languages, I added English. Assuming like you're in Germany, right? Or you're in Netherlands, right? Or you're in any part of Europe and you want to have like more than just 2 languages. You want to have English, French, Dutch, any of those languages, then you'll be able to add in additional languages in here. And then for the first message, again, I defaulted it to French and I put this message in there for the first message, okay? And then for the system prompt, this is exactly the system prompt I'm using. I can just give you a high level summary of what this system prompt is doing. It's sort of describing the role of the AI voice agents in here. So it's giving you like the type of voice agent it is. So if I just said friendly and efficient, okay? So if you want to say, like say funny, witty, whatever you want to use, you can use in here. And then I have in the objective, which is really to help customers book their dental appointments by collecting their preferred date and time. And then I do have the behavior, okay? How I want it to behave. So I've defined a few things in here. And as you can see from here, I have a check availability tool. And I'm going to show you exactly how I created that tool. And then down here, I have like the book appointment tool as well. And I've instructed it on what to do if like the appointment isn't available. Now, coming down, like I mentioned, I would explain how the tools work. But in terms of the LLM, I'm using GPT-5 Nano. You can really choose which one you want to use. Like you can test out which one will work best for you. I'm just using GPT-5 Nano. In terms of the temperature, you can really decide like if you want it to be more creative or less creative, you can choose. And in here, because this is a multilingual agent, sort of putting this on to say that I want to give the agent the ability to sort of change the language during conversation. Now, this is where I have my custom tools and I'm going to go there in a second. So that is it for this part of it. Because I'm calling 2 tools, I'm going to show you exactly how you can create those tools as well. So for the custom tools, you can really create them directly from this view. You can come in here and then you can add a tool, or you can come to tools and then you can create a tool. So I'm creating a webhook tool. Why am I creating a webhook tool? Because I'm trying to communicate between n8n and ElevenLabs, which is why I'm using a webhook tool. If I was just keeping the communication within ElevenLabs, then I'm just going to use a client tool. So I'm just going to click on add webhook tool, and then you can put in the name, description, and everything. Since I already have the tool created, I'm just going to click on it and then show you exactly what I put in, the parameters I put in those tools. So the first tool, which is the check availability tool. This one here basically determines whether the customer's requested date and time for the dental appointment is available. And what it does is, and when I move into n8n, you'd see, it would basically check the calendar and everything on our behalf. In order to know which dates to check for, is basically passing this date time parameter, which is really the time that the customer requested for from the demo you saw, okay? And so it extracts the date in this format and then it passes it into n8n. The other tool I'm using in my system prompt inside ElevenLabs is really the book appointment tool. This tool is basically responsible for like booking the appointment for the customer. And in here, I'm defining some parameters in here. So the headers, as usual, application JSON. If you've been building it n8n a lot, these headers are standard. Again, they are standard depending on like whatever API or tool you're using. And then in terms of the body parameters, try to describe as much as possible what is being sent to n8n. So you want to describe it as much as possible, give as many instructions as you can, because like when it comes to AI, the more data you give it, the richer your output is, okay? And then coming down in here, as you can see, I'm passing the customer name, I'm passing the date, that is a confirmed date, I'm passing the phone number. Okay, if you remember from the demo I did, AI voice agent was asking, okay, in order to book your appointment, can you provide me with the customer name? Can you provide me with your full name, your phone number, as well as your preferred date? So these are the 3 parameters that are being sent into n8n so that n8n can go ahead and sort of book the appointment in the Google Calendar. Now, what I want to also say is take note of the webhook URL here. The webhook URL is very important because that's the only way you can communicate between n8n and back. When we get into n8n, I'll show you how you can get your webhook URL as well. So this part of the configuration of the tutorial regarding ElevenLabs is finalized. So the next step for us is to go into n8n, and also I'm going to walk you through like how the configuration works there as well. But before we do that, I just want to let you know of my upcoming free n8n crash course coming up on September 15th. It's going to be touching so many aspects on getting started with n8n up until building your first AI agent. It's going to be very practical, very hands-on. Like I said, it's free. I'm going to leave the link to that in the description box so that you can sign up for it as well, and then hopefully you can join me during that 1-hour session as well. I'm moving on to n8n. So this is our workflow in n8n, and you saw this workflow already from the demo, but this is how it's being configured to run. Okay, this is the webhook URL that is being sent over into ElevenLabs. Okay, if you are using it in test mode, then you are gonna use this one. If you're using it in production, then you'll be using this one. Okay, so this is what is being sent inside n8n, and basically you want to use the respond to webhook nodes because you're sending a respond back. Okay, there are so many other options, but you want to use the respond to webhook node in here. All right, so that's really the setup. This link here can change. You can change it. Once you make a change here, this is also going to get affected. Okay, so know that the path and the link are related. Now, this webhook is continuously always, provided this is in production, it's going to always be listening to like if there are any requests coming through from ElevenLabs. All right, now the next thing is that this is our AI agent or our model in here, and it's connected to OpenAI chat model in here, and this can be Gemini, it can be any model. Because I'm so used to using the OpenAI chat model, when I'm doing this tutorial I just go for that one, but really you can use any model of your choice. You don't need to stick to the OpenAI chat model. With this, all I'm doing is I'm just selecting GPT-4o mini. Again, you can use GPT-5, whichever model works for you, you can use that. In terms of the simple memory, I'm just using this. If you're doing this in production, like I always recommend in all my videos, like you want to find a creative way of making this a unique key so that it's not repeatable, so that it's not things people can easily guess, because this is tied to memory and everything. So this is how my simple memory is set up. I'm going to go into my LLM model. So in my LLM model, the prompt user message, just think of this as like if you go into ChatGPT, what you're telling ChatGPT to do, right? So I'm just saying book an appointment based on this date provided. This date provided is really from the call we received earlier on. So this is the data provided. So this is it. And so what happens is that the system message in here now, this is really the objective. This is how I've defined the system message. You're a friendly multilingual dental appointment booking agent. And I have talked about like the data sources, basically what they need to be like aware of. And all these data sources have also been connected to this agent. So I've connected a calendar, which really is my Google Calendar in here. And just so you know, this is an example of the appointment that was basically created by the AI voice agent. Okay, so this is a calendar that I have attached to it. So you would need to make sure that you have attached your calendar. If you're using Google Calendar, then make sure that you have your APIs, you have your credentials and everything set up. Let me know in the comment section below if you would want a step-by-step tutorial on how to connect like your tools or like how to set up your Google Cloud Console, and I'll gladly help you do that. So you have your calendar. I really like using Google products when I'm doing my tutorials because they have the generous free version for most of their products. So if you want to really get started with n8n and you want to know how to connect certain nodes, then you can try using any of the Google tools, because then you're able to do those ones for free as well. Now I have the phone number, which I obviously passed from the conversation. You heard me mention the phone number, and then we have the customer name as well that's also been passed in here. And I'm talking about like the process. So I'm saying that ensure that a requested time falls between the working hours, which is really Monday to Friday. I'm also talking about the fact that I'm giving it some error handling, basically telling them that if it's outside the clinic hours, then respond with this instead. And then I'm also telling it to like, if the slot is free, you should go ahead to book it, but if it's not, it should suggest 2 more options that are free. And then I've given it some things it should never do. So that is it with the agent. In here, I have, as you can see, I've connected my Google Calendar, and the first one I connected really is the one that gets the availability. So this really checks the availability and gives me a response. So if it's available, it says it's available. If it's not, it lets me know that it's not. And this is the one that creates the event. And then once the event is created, sends a text message. So I have set up my Trilio account. I'm not going to talk much about Trilio in this video just because I've done like 2 other videos talking about Trilio and how to sign up, and I don't want to sound like a broken telephone saying the same thing over and over again. So I would encourage you to watch those videos because I've gone more into details on how to set up your Trilio account and everything. Yeah, but if you want me to just have like a dedicated video on Trilio as well, let me know. I'll gladly do that as well. But yeah, so this is it. Trilio then sends a text message. It says that, "Hi Stephanie, your appointment is confirmed for this date," and it's giving me the street where it's confirmed. And then at the end of the day, it sends back the response into ElevenLabs. So yeah, that is it, guys. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd encourage you to do so, as I totally share tutorials on how to build AI agents. I generally talk about AI, automation, AI trends, all the fun stuff happening now. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share this video, comment. The more you comment, the more I'm encouraged to do more, guys. So please do so. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.